Hello everyone. Well, this works great here. Oh my god. I think I broke my application. Oh my god. Hey, Antipixelated, how's life? Oh, let me just restart this. Oh my godness. Cool. Hello everyone. Let me get rid of Twitch here. So I hope the sound is alright. It might be that we have to fix my application here first. Oh my god, that is embarrassing. So what you see here, so first of all, it's Tuesday 8:30. I usually stream about building something with Next.js currently. So what happened is, and you don't see it very much because I have to fix something in my setup here, but what happened is that I had a shower thought about today-i-learned.dev. So for people that may know me know that I document all the things that I learn in web development on my own website. It's always just tiny posts, and I thought that it would be cool if we would have a platform that would be today-i-learned.dev, where people could share what they built, and then we could have just a nice little sharing party with everybody and get a little bit smarter about web development. And what we now would have to do potentially first is to fix this ugly overlay that is currently there on stream. So what you see here is that I also run a custom streaming setup, which is also another Next.js application. And obviously I added something yesterday or 2 days ago, and it looks like I broke something. So to do that, let me just pull up the application that runs the chat application, and let me bring up another terminal here so that we can have a look at what's actually going on here. So let me bump that up. That's embarrassing because the code is very dirty that powers this, but let's figure out what the problem is here. Cool. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna stop the application that is powering also, which is in this overlay of my stream here, and let's open the code about this one, and then let's just have a look at what's going on. And I'm going to restart this so that we can debug the error actually, which is this. And it seems like that yarn start, and it seems that I tested it with my own user and it seems to work fine. So when I paste something into the message here, something like hello world, it should appear on stream once I refresh everything. So let me just try that one again. Hello world. Oh, it's still compiling. Come on. Hello world. Let me refresh that one again. One more time. Hello world. Here we go. And it looks like anti-pixelated that when you post something, everything breaks. Can we double check that? So what you see there is an overlay of a Next.js application, and basically, here we go. Oh my goodness. Properly tested, Stefan. Well done. So let's just have a look at what the error message says. It says that cannot convert undefined or null to object. All right, and this is in the file chat.js. So let's just fix that live here, and then let's start doing what I actually, yeah, I think that is the problem. Let's fix that, and then let's see where we go with this. So this is line 5. So here we see that there come in badges, which should be actually be an object, but I assume that when it is null, that and this is also behind the overlay. Oh my god, this is terrible today. Okay, so what we here have is function that should render the badges, and it looks like that my little test here doesn't work when null is coming back. So let's just for now, so that I can actually do the things that I actually want to do. So if not badges, return an empty string. And then I hope that we can move on with our life and do the thing that we actually wanted to do today. So I'm gonna refresh everything. So I'm gonna do hello world. Hello world, come on. Can you give another try, anti-pixelated? Let's see. Here we go. So with this, we have a little bit of bumpy start here, but we can get on with our lives. So anti-pixelated, in case you wonder what you can do here, is you can do exclamation point help, which gives you a bunch of options that you can do to interact live with the stream. And it seems to work now, which means that we can move on with our lives and do what we actually wanted to do here today. So let me just get rid of all this stuff, because this is not what I wanted to do. And you see that there's a bunch of stuff going on. Here we go, let's drop this one too. Here we go. Sweet! And now we're basically what we wanted to do. So, and I'm gonna remove and move this terminal back to where it belongs on the other screen. That went great. So let's move this one over. Oh, come on. Here we go. What the hell? my window manager is not doing what I want to do here. Okay, so let's give that one a last try. Different screen. Here we go. And now I can go here. Sweet. So, what we actually want to do here today is continue working on today-i-learned.dev, which I already built over the last few weeks. So what you see there is another Next.js application. And this Next.js application uses Firebase Auth and also Firebase Cloud Firestore. And what we did over the last few weeks is that you can already go here. It's actually also deployed. So when we go to today-i-learned.dev to this URL, which I'm going to post into the chat in just a moment, you can already log in, log out, and post some today-i-learned URLs or things. And the cool thing is that you can here now log in, and it doesn't work anymore. I had the same issue last time. I'm probably on the wrong URL here. So what you can do already is that you can, if I post the right URL, so let me just go, it's this one. It's today-i-learned.versal app. Here we go. So when you go here, what you can do, let me just check that it works before I do something. You can go here, you can log in. And once you're logged in, you can already submit things to this little thing here, which is like tests, and then you can give it a URL. And this is all already submitted and stored in cloud storage, Firestore storage, or whatever it's called. So let me post this one. And what we wanted to do today is basically make that a little bit prettier and see where we can go with this. So login logic is there, listing and persisting logic is there, and the question is what we should do next. So I would be very much in favor of making that to something that doesn't look like plain text, and bringing in something like CSS, so some handling of CSS. So that would be cool. And then I would start maybe making everything already a little bit prettier and to see where we go. But before we do this, I have to do a little bit of cleanup. So, and let me just walk you through the code for a little bit so that we can see what we're dealing with here. So when I go now to my code editor, you see that we have a classical Next.js application. It has some routes available already under index, which is currently not used but should be. And then we have Next.js works with this folder structure for URLs. So we have here pages directory, and this then has posts, and we see here that we have pages available, which then map to the IDs here. And I think that we should start the journey here today with this buddy here. So let's go. And this now does still a lot of things from the initial beginning when we started building this app. And mainly what it does is that it's fetching a lot of RSS articles, which I thought was a good idea initially, but I don't think that we should proceed with it, continue doing that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean up a few things from the last weeks, because I'm already annoyed that when I am developing locally, is that when I do this, it takes a moment to load. And this is really not how it should be. And the reason for that is that it's iterating and fetching a bunch of RSS feeds. And I think we should just quickly drop that. So Next.js, the way that it works is that you have a main function that you have to export, and then you can also export additionally some functions that are then used to generate the pages in case you want to statically render the HTML out later. And we see here that we have getStaticPaths, which is used to figure out what routes should be statically rendered. So I don't think that we need this at the current stage anymore. And then we have getStaticProps, which is used to figure out all this data that should be used when the application renders statically. Use variable, and I think with this, everything should already be a little bit more snappy. So let's just have a save on that one and do this. It might be that we have to restart things now. That still takes fairly long. So let me just have a look if we have to restart that. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's go back once it all is done here. Yeah, that looks good. And now, it still takes a moment. That is interesting. I wonder what it's doing now. Does it still have to build or something? Aha, compiling.
It really comes down to what's
compiled successfully. Come on, we can do it. And now, well, it feels a little bit snappier, but let's see where we go. It is getting things from Firebase Firestore. I can walk you through that in a moment once I cleaned up all this code here. So let me just get rid of it because we have no exception screaming at us, which is nice. So what it's currently doing is that we have a custom hook available, which is... Oh, we don't have a custom hook anymore. So we have here this thing hanging out, which is Firebase Firestore collection. And we're using a package that is called... I can also drop this one. Let me just clean up one more file here, config, which is this one. We don't need that one. So, bam! So this one is gone now, and we also don't need the parser anymore, which means that I can clean up some package JSON stuff. This one. Here we go. Yep, that makes sense. Let's just do a quick cleanup of node modules because I had a lot of issues with this one package that needed another node version. And then we're going to install it, and then I'm going to show you what we did with Firebase so far. So let me just kick off Yarn again once everything is removed here. Here we go. So what we did is that we have a Firebase hooks package available, which is this one, React Firebase hooks. And this directly interacts with Firebase, which we have here. And you see here that we have currently a collection of documents which are created when people submit things in the form itself. And I have to say that it was fairly straightforward. It was pretty nice. Currently, we're only fetching the data in the client side. That is why you see this little loading thing if there's nothing there yet. But potentially when we now don't run into a very long installation debacle here, then you should see that working, and we could potentially submit new today-i-learned posts, and with this then these automatically go into Firebase Cloud Firestore once that is done. And overall I had a pretty decent experience with with Firebase Cloud Firestore. So it took a moment to get a hold onto the whole thing, because I have to say that the documentation was not as straightforward as I wanted it, maybe. But let's see if that now all works. So we can kick off the whole application, and when we now go back to what we have, and in the meantime I can clean up the whole dummy data that we have from the last week. So what we can do is we can wipe everything out, and when we now go potentially here again, then we should see nothing, and once I submit a new learning, then this whole thing should be persisted in Firestore. So let's see how we do here. Posts, that looks good. Sweet. So nothing in here, so I can now do test, and we just give it example.com. I can submit this, and this should now be persisted in here once we do a refresh. And the cool thing is that when I can go in here, I can log in. I think currently it's only using GitHub. Let's see, and I can now upvote this. So when I go back in here, we see that we have one document, which is my test document. I have one upvoter. So the idea in the long run would be that we would have a long list of maybe web development learnings, and then it becomes a little bit like Reddit or something, where people can upvote and unvote. And then we could build the whole thing to become something real. So what I had in mind for today was to extend this whole thing and maybe make it a little bit, make it look a little bit prettier. Also, what we currently don't have is on index. There's currently actually nothing in there except for some dummy data. So I'm up for suggestions, but for a clean visual look. So I have two things that I would like to figure out today, which is, first of all, how do we want to do CSS here? Recently what I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit of Tailwind. I'm fairly digging that one, but I would also go the route of CSS modules or something, which I know is coming in by default with Next.js these days. And then we probably have the main question, which is like, how should this whole thing look like? So let's maybe just start on the index page and then figure out where we take it from here. So this here should now hot reload, and then we can, here we go. We can take it from here and we can start deciding on how this whole thing should look like. And what I usually do is that I go to Dribble and I look a little bit for inspiration on how this whole thing could look like, because I'm not a designer, but let's see where this goes. And now let me just quickly bring up my passport manager here to figure out. Let me move that off screen. And then let's log in and maybe find something nice and pretty that we could start getting some inspiration from. So let's see. So I signed up with Dribble with my own name. Here we go. Sweet. So what are we looking for? Let's just look for, I don't know. Can we look for a website? What do we get when we look for a website? Bum, bum, bum. I think this looks pretty. Do we prefer something light or something dark? I also like pretty much to look at beautiful dashboards. I think beautifully designed dashboards are something super nice. Yoink! Let's go for something light. What should I look for? Do you have any ideas, Antipixelated? So I'm also, this is a little too shiny for my taste. And I also shouldn't use too much drop shadows, because otherwise my girlfriend tells me, well, that is too much drop shadows, Stefan, what's going on? I also dig this one. This one looks pretty fancy. Can we maybe just look for Reddit and look for people that redesign Reddit? Let's see what we got here. I like this one. I think this looks clean with the nice little icons. So that is fancy. Oh, this one looks cool too. What do you think, Antipixelated? Should we take this for a spin initially, and then we see where we go? So I'm not 100% into copying the whole thing, but I think this looks and it has some some box shadows here. Cool. So what we have here first is, let's see how we do CSS. I think that, let's see what we got here. There was one line with CSS that I uncommented at some point, so I would have to figure out how to do. Yeah, let's copy the whole thing. Let's call it ours. It's on the internet, right? So why should we copy things here? So let's just Google quickly like Next.js CSS, and let's see what they have out of the box. Built-in CSS support, okay. What they say is that we should have a style sheet hanging around somewhere, and then we can just import it. And then what? That just works. Okay, that works for body. And component level stuff. Here we go. Okay, so this is what they do. So you can write CSS files, you can then import them, and then they have some hashed classes or something that we could use. All right, then let's get to work. Let's see how that could work. So what we have currently is we have a component that is called site layout, which currently, where we are, which is currently here. Let's see if index is using site layout. It does not. Okay, so let's bring in the site layout, which is a render prop. No, it's a component with a render prop. So it should be something like this, and then we can just dump in things, and it should be wrapped automatically then. So what we can do here now, let's see what happens. So we have the link and the title for head. So the head component is automatically applied to the document that is rendered then. And what we do here now is we can do this, and we can close this component with site layout. And then I assume that we have already, if we import that properly, so let's bring that one in too. Site layout from, where is it? Components, site layout. Here we go. Here is it complaining about some styles that are not available. So let's comment these one out for now. And let's also drop this one here, and then let's see what we do. With this we should already have now here we go. So we see here that site layout includes already the login logic, at least parts of it. And we see here that it's greeting the user with the email address if you logged in, and then we have a header and a footer. And I would assume that what we can now do is, so how do we want to approach that? So what I'm thinking of is that we should properly, so let's have a look. We have here a main component. Yeah. So what we should, so what happens here is that we have the site layout component, and all these kind of things pop out in the site layout component under children. And with this, we could now take our way further. And what I think would make sense in this component is that what we could do is we could have something like header here, which then is a component that holds this whole login logic. And then we have a component that we call footer. And with then we already have something to work with and something that we could style. So let's create the header component first. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do header.js, and let me move that one to the right. Here we go. And let's do it like this and like this. And what we have to do here is we have to define our header component, and we have to export default that one, export default header, and then we can import it here. Yeah, my girlfriend Madalena is into the camera effects here, so and Viking is pretty decent though, we have to say though. So what we can do here is we can now do header from header, and assume that we can now move this hook outside of this component, because I think that we should have that inside of the header component. And then we can already do this, and we bring this one in here, and also these things can also go here. So with this, probably what's the problem here? Header cannot be used as JSX component. So let's oh, I missed the anime. Did the anime work? So what we should do here is return some proper JSX. Let's move that one just up. Something like that. No, let's do it a different way. And let's just return a div here. And let's bring this one in. And save that. And now this one should be good to go here. Here we go. And we don't need the 7s here. Sweet. So what we can now do and see is probably that this is working. Let's just see if that... let's see if this is rendering header properly. Here we go. So this is now our header component. What? Anime didn't work? Oh, another thing that I broke recently. But Viking did work, no? Well, I have to look into the anime then. Cool, so what we have now is that what we have now is that we have the header component, which is probably rendered here somewhere, and this comes already from here. Sweet. So with this, what I would think is that we could already create a CSS. We could have, I'm happy you like it, Antipixelated. Took me a while to figure out how the chat can change my camera settings. Well, thanks. Yeah, I prefer the beer too. So what we now have is that we have the header component, and potentially I can still log in and log out. Let's see if that is still working. So let's log in here, and this now should update things. Sweet. So I think what we can now do is we can start styling the whole thing with something like this. All right, so let's bring in some styles here. And we bring it up here on the top. And I think what we can do is we can actually go with a header component here too. And we go with styles from header.module CSS. And what we now can do is we can... Are there any React conventions on where to place files? I'm just gonna go with header module CSS here. And then let's... how did that do it? We have an error and then styles error. Okay. So this is currently complaining. Okay, so let's bring in here class name equal styles.header. And I assume that when I now go in here and I do header color red, for example, we already should see some red stuff, which looks good. Nice. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's nice. So then this question on how we should move forward and make that actually happen to look like the dribble thing. Exactly, anti-pixelated. Styling done. I think, so my favorite thing here is basically this one. And I think we can call it a day. And that's it, right? I mean, it looks beautiful. And it was a pretty short thing here today. Okay, so let's have a look at how this actually could look like here. So when we look at this, this has a fairly long header thing. So I would assume that we just, I think it's time to have both things side by side so that we see what we're doing. And we go here and move this one to the left too. Here we go. So then we can start styling that and having a look at how we actually can make that happen. So let just make me DevTools a little bit smaller. Cool. So I would just start by give the whole thing a little bit of padding. 1 and 0, and that all should now still work. Sweet. And what I think what we should have in the meantime is not only, let's make that a small h here first of all, because we have a naming clash. So header, and here we go with header. I think what we probably should have is something like a component that its only job is to limit the whole width of the thing. So when we have a look at the dribble thing that we were looking at, we see here that the header component has this shadow which goes over the whole width, but actually what we want to have is something that limits the whole thing in its width, and it has to be inside of all these similar single components, I think, because otherwise it won't necessarily work. So what we can do is, how should we call that? Container, maybe? Container is not the greatest thing, but let's just start with new file here. We call it container. Yeah, container is actually horrible. but I cannot think of anything better here, so let's go with container, I think. Cool. So, and let's do const container. Yeah, that's terrible. And this accepts children and then return div. Yeah, I'm totally with you here. The hello world of things. So what we can simply do is that we can bring in here something like import styles from container module CSS. Oh, and shit, this is behind the chat boxes, so let me just change sides here. Here we go. So what we can do is we can do import container module CSS, and let's bring that one in. So let's bring container module CSS, and then the whole thing is really just container, and we do max width. What should we have here? I don't know, 80M. And then potentially what we can do here is we can do class name styles container, and with this we should be already ready for, we have a typo here, module CSS container module. What's the problem here? And then we want, first of all, we want to export that, export default container. Here we go, but still not happy with the import here. Do I have a typo somewhere? So let's see. Container module CSS, container module CSS. What's the problem? Yep, I think I did save it. What's the error? Come on, show me the error. I cannot find module, container module, or is it corresponding? What? We did it here, so what's going on? Styles from... Oh, I think this is just VS Code complaining. I think it's still working. Because I have type checkings in. Sometimes it can be very, very useful, but sometimes it's also just not. Yeah, it's TypeScript complaining. So potentially when we now have a look here, let's see if this is now... Oh, and what we should do probably is we should do margin 0 auto, so that we move it into the middle. So we now have a look at the whole thing here. Let's see, we have our head. Oh, we're not using it yet. Okay, so let's go into the header here. Let's bring in import container from container, and with this we should be able to do container, close the whole thing and move everything in, and then we already have something that should stick in the middle, which it does not. Does it? Let's see. It does not. So let's see. So header, container. I think 80 is just too much, huh? Here we go. Here we go. But 50M seems... Yeah, let's just go with 50 for now and let's see what happens then when we continue doing that. Container 50. All right. So what we can now do is that we can go to the header CSS and basically we can start doing some things. So I assume now that when we do box shadow, when we do 0, 0.5, 0.5 blue, that we should have the box shadow over the whole width. Sweet! So that already looks nice. Pretty nice. But let's make that a little bit more subtle, and I assume that what we should do is that we should probably define... I see. People are here. Here's the cat. But Jay Nielsen, are you actually a cat person? That is the question. No, you cannot combine them. So what's happening here is that Snap Camera is basically running in the background, and you can only have one thing at a time. And the way that this works is that I have a Node app running in the background too. And whenever a message is matching a certain keyword, then I'm triggering global keyboard shortcuts to trigger Snap Camera shortcuts. So I think it's pretty cool, actually. Cool. So what we probably should do now, though, is that we shouldn't start bringing in some random colors and stuff in here. So there's one global CSS file somewhere. Ah, look at this. It looks like that. The Next.js bootstrapping actually has styles in a different directory. Huh. Should we follow that? I actually like it when the files are next to each other. It makes things easier to navigate. Let's just stick with it here right now. So what I would like to do though is that I would like to define some colors with CSS custom properties and stuff. So, and what I would like to do here is, how do we start that? Shadow color maybe? And let's go with something light. 3E, something like that. And with that we should already be able to get rid of our beautiful blue here. And we should be able to do that. So let's see how that turns out. Nice. And hey Swallow, how's life? So what we then probably should do is that let's just bring in a random logo here on the left side. And then where do we want to go? To something like that. And I assume that probably we should have something like the custom email or user stuff on the right side and a nice fancy button. Probably two. So how do we do this? So I would say now that let's go to the header component first. Let's drop this one. And I'm just bringing in a span for now, which I presume that this will be our logo. So let's do class name styles logo. And when we go to here, let's do logo, display, inline block, width 3em, height 3em, and then border radius 50%, and then background, and I pick another gray or something. Or should we? Yeah, let's just go with another random color. I don't want to set a variable for that one yet, because I most likely will drop that eventually. So let's do it like that. So let's see what brings us here now. Here we go. It's probably a little bit too big, so let's go with 2 here. Sweet. So we have 2. And then what I would like to do is I would like to bring display flags here, and then justify content space between, and this should already move everything to there. What? So let's see. And probably I should just move the DevTools to the bottom so that we can all see things here. All right, let's do that. So I was now totally expecting that the whole thing, so we have here, oh, that is interesting. We have the container in the middle. That's why it's not, so we have the header, and then we have the header container. Oh my God. Ugh. Well, that is annoying. Okay, so let's bring in something. Now I'm already running into 2 containers here. Well, isn't it great? Yeah. Yeah. You're right, Jane Easton. How do we call that? Another container? Alright, we have already a container and a container. That is going great here today. So let's bring in the container and let's do this. And I assume that now does the trick. It does not yet, but let's see. So we have here header container, and here is already CSS modules. I think this is technically pretty decent, but the problem that I see with CSS all the time is that it just grows and grows and grows and grows, and CSS modules don't really help with that. So, but here we go. We have the logo on the left, we have my email address in the middle, and we have login, logout there. So what we probably need is we need another wrapper here, and then we are already where we want to go. Sweet! We can also do, just so that everything, is it align items? Like that? So that everything is nicely aligned. Nice! And now that we have this thing hanging here, I'm not sure if I should start using foo and bar already here. Let's see. But we see already here that we have the problem that Today I Learned is hanging around just somewhere. And we can work around that by bringing the container class that we have, or the container from, and then we should already be one step further here. Sweet, so now we have components container, and then we can container, and then we have container here, and we can move that one in, and then we have already our first steps done. Nice. So, and this theoretically should still be able to log in and log out. Nice. I think yeah, and to pixelate it, we can do the v7 final dot whatever PSD, but now for real. I hope we don't reach that stage here actually. So let's just dig out some fancy button styles. Let's see what we should do. I would like to have something very fancy, to be honest. So let's have a look at dribble again. Oh, now we missed the design that we were aiming for. Here was it this one? Can we refresh that to show it up again? Here we go. Let's just open another dribble tab. And here we go with... Can I just look for fancy button? Let's see what comes up. Well, these are not buttons. I'm digging this, though. I think this is beautiful. But maybe just something like that here. Something that's classy. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. What about this one here? We could bring in a bunch of JavaScript to build this. Fairly. I'm not sure if it's worth it though. So let's see. Yeah, I think we should just go for something classy. Maybe not that fancy. Cool. So when we now go back to our header, the question is, how do we do that in a JavaScript driven world here? So because I want to have should we have a button component that is just encapsulating the styles? Let's see how that could look like. So when we do... Maybe we should do that. Would you be up for that, Swarlo? I mean, how would you build this? This is... Let's have a look at this. I mean... This is decent though. I'm not sure how interested that would be, like 2.5, 3 hours to build that. Yeah, cool. So let's bring up just the button component so that we can have some button styles. So I'm gonna bring in button.js. I still think these kind of things feel sometimes a little bit unnatural to me, to be honest, because we write a lot of components and code just to encapsulate things. But just let's roll with that for now. So we're gonna do button, and this returns button. What's Rife? Is Rife a JavaScript library? Bring your apps and games to life with real-time animation. I haven't heard about that. Easy peasy, I take you on that one. Rife app is not responding here though. The Rife runtimes are libraries that give you full control of your files and other tools and game engines. How much JavaScript is that loading though? Alright. Okay, I'm up for some really fancy stuff here now, so let's see what happens. Is this real stuff built in JavaScript now, or how is that? What do I see here? Is that playing a video now, or is that real? Well, my computer is pretty much running because I have the stream running, but something coming here at some point. So is that like an app? Can I do that online, or what is that? Doesn't seem to be successful here for me. So something coming? Nothing? Stripe is failing. Well, I'm not up for buying something yet. Huh. It looks fancy. Oops. Oh snap. I think I will look into this when my computer is not busy doing all these things that it is doing right now. But I think that's, if I can do fancy things easily and it's not loading like 100k of JavaScript to do that, I would be game to play around with that. Totally. Cool. So let's move on here and let's go with. We probably now need to import some styles again. And we do button module CSS. I wonder really how much. Yeah, I really would like at the end, after we have something that is in here, have a look at how heavy this actually becomes. Because yeah, I said this all feels a little bit clunky to me to have that many files. So let's do, what do we want? Let's see first of all if it works. So when we now do button, and here we get props, and then we do props. Does that work out of the box when I do it like this? And I do class name, and we do styles button. Cool. So when we now go to the header, potentially what we could do is that we can bring in import button from button, Now we could replace all these with something like that, and then we should have already a red button. Let's see. Button does not, okay. Export default button. Here we go. Nothing was returned from render. We're almost there. Yeah, we can do it. Sweet. So this color is red. Now there's the question if this is really the right stuff, because we have the header red here. Yeah, looks good. Sweet. So with this, potentially does it now still work? Yeah, it also seems still to work. Which means that we didn't break the native button. So that is a success, I would say. So we now go back and let's do something here now. Here we go. Let's add some basic things here. And then, oh, we have box shadow color already, right? So what was it? Var shadow color. That is probably too light though. Let's see. Here we go. Nice. Let's see. All right, should we go give it another try here? Rive.app. Let's see if my computer can handle it. Supercharge your apps app. We've seen that. Wow. Is that a paid thing? I mean, if that works, that's still cool. But I'm not very sure if I'm very talented in. Even if what I'm saying is, even if I would have the tools to do something like that, I'm not sure if I'm able to do it actually. But that does indeed look cool. And what is that rendering? Is that a canvas or is that an SVG? It is a canvas. Gotcha. Well, Swallow, I think I'm gonna play around with this, because actually what I'm looking for right now is for my own website. I think that I have a lot of icons that I would like to have that do. You don't see that. I have a lot of icons that I would like to do something fancy. I would have just done that with SVG and maybe some little CSS, but if this is not too heavy and it's not kind of blowing up my Lighthouse scores, well, 10k gzipped. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I'm not sure if I will do that on stream, but I will definitely check that out. Sweet. Yeah, totally will do that. Cool. So thank you very much, Svarlo. That is a nice idea. We'll totally do that. So back to topic. So here we now have already our little button going. So what we can do now is we should make it look a little nicer, right? So let's do like this. I think the box shadow is way too much. Does that look good now? Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. And then I would like to have color not completely black, but something like how do you folks name your CSS variables? I'm always inventing new conventions, and I think it's fairly hard to do that. Naming is hard, right? So let's do it like this. Var text color. Did that work? Here we go. That looks a little nicer. And then what we would have to do is still have some hover and some active styles. So let's do it with hover. Something here. I wonder if that works out of the box. So, and button, focus, and button active. Here we go. And what should we do? We should probably box shadow, none. Yeah. Been hit by that a lot of times, right? Naming and cache and validation. And on hover, what do we want to do? Let's just do background white. Here we do. Does that do some things now? Nice. I think we should give it a very subtle border here. So here's a little trick in case you're not aware. You can use current color if you don't want to set a variable all the time. Which is cool now is that current color in this context is basically the set color property, which means that you can reuse things. I use that all the time and I think it's extremely helpful. Current color would also go down to pseudo elements, so I think that's pretty decent and sweet. So with this we now have a little button. And probably what we should have is... So how does it look here now? I think that's not too bad. How should we... I wonder if we should have some global default styles to... Let's bring in something cool. Maybe... how do we do that? Let's just bring in some util classes into the global thing, which I think is a nice thing to have. So what we could do is, let's do something like spacing X, and then we do everything that is followed by something else. We do margin left 0.5 em. So and assume. Let's see how this comes out. What I can now do is that when I go to the header, or header here, that I could potentially do, for this div, I could do class name, styles, and then spacing X. Does that work? Is it automatically camel casing and doing the case conversion here? Oh, it didn't apply this. Maybe like this. Spacing X. Ah. Oh, does that work? Ah, because it's coming from different styles. Ah, gotcha. Let's do import global styles from. So where we're coming from here, one level up, styles, global, nope, styles, fills, CSS? Are we not in the right one? Components, styles, globals, CSS, okay. And then we could do maybe this, let's see if that works. Global CSS cannot be imported from files other than your custom app. Please move all global CSS imports to pages app.js or convert the import. Whoa. So what's going on in app.js here? Well, that is annoying. What valid CSS? What did I nest? I'm not sure I follow Swallow. And for normalized CSS, I've seen myself, I haven't used normalize or reset CSS for quite a long time actually. I found that the browser inconsistencies these days are not too bad. Inside of your class name. I did this here. Is that what you're referring to? Okay, let's see. Did I nest something? Yeah, I write usually post CSS. Oh yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. But this also does not allow us to do that here. So where should we put the? I actually don't want to. I don't want to place margin left, margin top, margin bottom, margin right everywhere. And with CSS modules, I'm not really sure how to handle that now. Should I have something like, so for example, when we have here something like maybe util styles, and then we just call this util, and then we do this util. Something like that. But then I can probably not use the nested selector, right? Can I? MLS, margin left, small. That is terrible. Let's see where this goes. So let's just bring in a util CSS here. And let's see if that... Yeah, I hate it too. So how would I just define a margin left on things? I mean, so that it works everywhere and we can reuse some stuff. Let's just see if that margin left. That will repeat the CSS used for every import. Will it? So when I do now something like this, what we could potentially do is we could have util CSS and we have util styles and we have at least util styles margin left, right? This should work, I assume. And global CSS cannot import it. We dropped that, didn't we? Global CSS. Is it hanging somewhere? No, I don't think it is. What? Styles, util CSS, global CSS cannot be imported. So should this then, is that a naming convention thing here? Should this call be then util module CSS? So we now go back in here to our header, we do util module CSS. Here we go. Doesn't seem to work, but oh, it works there. Cool. So what we could do now here is we could drop this one. And potentially... Is that overriding now the others? No. Yeah, I think it's overriding. Let's see. Let's have a look at our button again. Oh, that is annoying. All right, I'm up for some serious advice here. So in React CSS modules land, I have to admit that I didn't use that to much extent. How would I now approach to just do a margin left here somehow? If I cannot, what is just the smartest approach now? I'm looking for just something like a util class that just does some spacing here and there. That's pretty much it. Or should I mean, in CSS module, am I just repeating all the things all the time? That doesn't seem to be the greatest way to do things, in my opinion, is it? I mean, I really just want to... Let's just make that a little bit shorter. In the meantime, I'm waiting for some ideas here. Or we could just postpone the problem and then... Alright. So Swallow, you're saying that I should go to global and we indeed do something like... Let's prefix utils with a U so that we're just knowing what we're doing with, and then we do margin left. I don't know, small or something, yeah? Alright, thanks. Thanks both. Fair enough. Okay, so then we do margin left 0.5 here. So now we have a class here, and when we go to our button, of course this doesn't work out of the box, which means that we have to do where we go, where is that use? How do we want to do that? When we do header here, I would like to do class name. What was it? Something like that. Oh, we can actually just do a string here. Something like that. And then we can go into our button component, because currently that is not dealing with this. We can do let's make that a template string. We do props, class name, and we do styles button. Is that... Oh, I think that worked, didn't it? Nice. So it has some... No, it did not work. Let's see. So it did... Is that one thing overriding the other one? Here we go. Okay. So now we have our default button back, which feels a little bit hefty here right now. So let's do that a little nicer. Sweet. It's not looking that fancy, but with this we now have at least something to log in, log out, and it's showing us the... Nice. Yeah, figured that one. Class names on NPM. Let's see. Class names. Here we go. So what does that do? I see. Yeah, I think for now 5 million downloads for concatenating some classes. Wow. Button. Yeah, I'm gonna. Thanks, Antipixelator. I'm gonna. I'm gonna stick to old school. I'm gonna stick to old school string concatenation for now. But this is wild. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Sweet. So what we should now do next is probably let's check out the other page. Here we go. So we have already something going here, which is nice. Let me just move that a little to the left so that you can actually see that. I think that this part here should now go into our main page so that we can maybe drop a route first. So what we can do here is now... let's go to posts page. And what did we do here? We had... should that be its own component? I mean, we could have a list component with all these things, then we could extract that into a component and then... We're building, hey, Czekoslava Kaya Muha Batkuzo. We're building something with Next.js. So basically, Next.js is this universal JavaScript framework. And what happened is that I had a shower thought and I built this this domain, which is basically today-i-learned.dev, and what we're giving my best here, and what we're trying to do is building something Reddit-like, and everything currently runs locally. It uses Firebase to log in and authenticate, and now it also already works. So when you go here and you submit things, it is already persisted and people could potentially upvote and downvote things. And the goal for today is really just styling some stuff and make it a little bit look more like an application, because, well, I mean, you see how it looks. It's not, it is not that pretty yet. Maybe we will make it to something like this. But that is up for question, because so far we haven't made any many big progress. We basically we defined the button and started some things. It was done last week, but let's see how it goes. I think for now I would like to have the index page to show all the things that are submitted, and then maybe we can have a nice little modal or something, and then yeah, let's see how far we go. So I think for the next step is that I would like to have these Firebase entries that are here. What did you learn on Depixelated? Onto the home route, and then let's see what happened. So, and for that I assume that what we It's alright, Swallow. I mean, I'm sitting here at home on Tuesdays and I decided to hang out here, so I very much appreciate having you around. I think it's pretty much fun. So, well, yeah, when you learn something, maybe you want to give a TIL a thing, and please feel free to go through all the other commands too. So should we have a component to render all these items here? I think that would be nice to have a component that really just shows these list thingies here. And just to show, let me just add another one so that it's not all the same. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And then we could have some nice progress probably. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the components, and we're going to add a new file, which is something like post list, maybe. So let's see what we can do here. We're going to do const post list equals, and then return nothing for now, and then export default post list, and then we would have to bring in the logic from the page component actually that was dealing with the data fetching and stuff. So let's have a look here, and there's already a bunch of stuff in there. Let's go from the top. So we have these dependencies on Firebase that I really don't want to have on a page component level. So I think it's actually very nice to get rid of these. Then we have this body here. This is needed when you run Firebase and this stuff in Next or React application with hot reloading, because that it's not reinitializing the connection all the time. Then we have some stuff going here to initialize all the shizzle. And then we have create till post. I'm not gonna touch that for now. And then let's see if we can just portent some things over here. I can highly recommend just looking at Dribble. So I'm not a good designer, right? But years ago, what I did is that I just looked at Dribble designs and I tried to build them with CSS, and it's actually pretty nice exercise while you're watching TV or something. It's not too stressful and you can build beautiful things. So Dribble is awesome. Like honestly, it's beautiful. I love Dribble. So let's see what we have to move over here. And I have to do some things here. So what we want to do is what we had value hanging around. So we definitely need this one here. And we're doing some fancy React with hooks and stuff. So let's see how this goes. And then we have I assume that we can have this whole UL here, that we can copy this one over. And then let's see what is screaming at us here. So we have value. Here we go. With value. And then this also uses a function somewhere, which is there's something to vote. Oh, maybe that already works out of the box. Let's see. And what we definitely need is also, we need the user. Where is it? Here, to figure out if the current user is authenticated. This is logic that comes from a custom hook that deals with the Firebase authentication and stuff. I'm not going into that right now. It took us a little bit to actually do that. And then use user comes from import. Let's see where we are. Oops. Oh, I'm in the same file here. Okay. So where's use user? We were here. Use user from, okay. Use user from, where are we? Okay, so one level up, hooks, use user. All right. And now we have the user, we have value, we have loading. And now when we go back to our index component, maybe it just works already. So let's see, import post list. Is that what we called it? Post list? Yeah. From components post lists. And then what we want to do is we have the main here. Let's make that an H1 right now. All right, let's see if it is screaming at us. Can I read property docs of undefined? All right, I assume we had a loading handler or something. Loading. Oh, I like that track. All right, let's see. It should be an empty array actually, shouldn't it? So let's see, where we're coming from is this component, and it uses useCollection, which comes from this React hooks package. You can also drop that one here. If not value loading. Okay, this is what we're looking for. Dun, dun, dun. Come on, show us some posts. Oh, nice! Oh, I think this is already pretty cool. So theoretically now when we log out... Yeah, nice. The upvoting buttons are gone. Sweet! I think that's pretty nice. Alright, let's see. I think with this we can already remove this route component here because currently it's not used anymore, so let's drop that one. And when we have this one now, I'm just gonna see, I'm just gonna stop everything and I'm gonna commit and push that, and then let's see if it still works on Vercel. So when we now do git commit, bunch of stuff. So we can now go to Vercel, and I assume that it is actually, where is it? Ah, here it's the first one. That it should be building now. Is it? Or this? Okay. So let's see if that works. Cool. So and as I'm working on, what's the branch name? So we're working on the main branch. So let's see. So that looks good. Can you give that a try and let's see if that works? Yeah, I mean, bunch of stuff commits are the greatest for things that you're just working on yourself, right? I mean, it is just how it is. And is that the case, Swallow, that the SDK is that big? The Firebase SDK? Is that whole thing now that heavy? So let's see, network. Yeah, well, for basically not much, we have 700k of resources before compressing the whole stuff. I have to agree for what we build now, that is... Well, that is already sporty. I have to say. Sweet, I see someone voted up. Nice. I think that's cool. Thanks, everybody. Seems to work, huh? Is React that heavy? What's this tool to check? Is it called Bundle Phobia or something? Let's have a look how heavy React is. Is that doing something? Yeah, I don't think that React is that heavy these days. Not sure what Next.js is doing though. And how much they of the custom stuff they ship. Yeah, there are a lot of different things coming in with that too, right? I mean, let's see. Maybe we should. That is fair. That is fair. I would say that in a later stage, I personally, I'm not very happy with shipping 240K for that, what we have right now. But let's see where we go with that in the future. I think right now it's just a fun exercise to do that. Sweet. So with this, we have already some loading stuff going, and it seems to work, which is nice. But now we lost. Shit. Okay, it's time to go to GitHub because now I lost the logic. I lost the logic to actually submit things, which is unfortunate. But luckily we have version control. So let's have a look at what actually the logic was for submitting to things. Okay, we had it before, so we have to we have to jump back one commit. So let's have a look. Okay, so we want to go here. We have this one. How can I navigate that now? Browse files. Here we go. And here we go to posts. All right. So here we had a form somewhere. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. So let's just copy the form. What do you think? Where should we have the form? Should we have a modal overlay, or should we have its own page to submit things? What do you think? I would be cool with a modal as long as it has its own URL. So I would be cool with that, but I could also live with a submit page or something. I think I'm gonna go with the submit page. So, and with Next.js, fair enough. Then let's just call it It is wild, isn't it? Like a hello world with 200K of JavaScript to... Let's do like that. Yeah, we've all deleted stuff online, right? Or while developing. Yeah, I did the first streams just without version control, like at all, like YOLO, and the application that I showed in the first few minutes that was broken is also not under version control yet. I should totally do that. But this is an excellent point. Git reflog. Yeah, I agree. So Git reflog is a way to basically dig into the things when you lost it. It's a little bit of magic, but usually when you delete things, you can find it in Git reflog, at least for a certain amount of time. I think this is cleaned up at some point. What was it, 30 days or something? 90 days. Yeah. So that is definitely a thing to keep in mind when everything is broken. And we deleted too much things. All right, so let's define a submit page. So let's do how's the structure of pages. So when we go to index, export default function. Okay, export default function submit. And here we want to have, nope, not that, that. And then we have to see, we're missing handle submit and we're missing create till post. So let's have a look at what these were. Create till posts, nice. And use form, got it. Here we go. Handle submit, create till post, cool. And now we have the problem. Oh, I think it's time to clean up some Firebase stuff. Because what we have now is that we have the header. No? No, we have the post list. Here we go. So we have the post list that does some Firebase stuff, and we need some yeah, basically we need this one over here. Are there any conventions? How do the React people do that these days? Is there just something... Should we just have something like models or something? Or should we write a Firebase component that passes these things down? That's probably the React way to do it, isn't it? We could have something like a Firebase data store wrapper that just passes down all these kind of things. Yeah, I think that would probably be the React way to do it. Yeah, I think we should do that. Yeah, or hook. Yeah, you're right. Anti-pixelated. A hook would also be... So what actually do we need? We need... Yeah, let's go for a hook. I haven't used... Well, have fun and good luck, Swallow. I mean... Alright. I wish you all the best for your migration there. What should we call it? Should we call it use till posts? Alright. Let's see if we can write a custom hook here. Yeah, we are already using this package actually. We're using React Firebase hooks here. 2 weeks ago, what I did is that I implemented Firebase on the SDK vanilla way, and then with this package it took literally 10 minutes to rewrite the whole thing and make it way cleaner. So probably what we should have is something now like a use till post hook that just passes down the things that we need. So let's see how we would do that, shall we? So first of all, we need all this stuff, first of all. Okay, and then we have to have this buddy here, so that the hot reload is not... Well, at least we have time to clean up. That sounds great. So, and then we have this stuff. How do I find a custom hook again? It's just a function that returns some stuff, right? Yeah, okay. Okay. Const use till posts. Export default use till post. Yeah, I mean, tech dev is real, right? Sometimes you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and at some point you just have to take a step back to clean up things. It takes a while. So what we want to do here now is basically we want to have these. And I think that first of all we should pass these down. So we do loading, till posts, and error. And till posts is value. If value docs, then it's value docs, and otherwise it's an empty array. Okay. So, but what we now, how did we get here? We needed the submit function. So basically what we also need this. So let's export this one too. So we now have a custom hook that connects to Firebase. Theoretically, it abstracts all the things away, so that in a perfect world, what we could do is we could remove all this stuff here, and now we could import our hook here, which is like import use till posts from. Let me just move that here. Use till posts from hooks, use till posts, and this now doesn't have value, it now has till posts, and it has well, we're not doing that anymore. Use till posts, and I'm returning an object here, not an array. And if not till posts, actually this should be, let's go with if loading. Loading. And then this will be till posts. And the Firestore database is also coming from this hook. So potentially that could be it. All right, let's see what's screaming at us. Okay, did we stop that? Yeah, we did. Yeah, the terminal theme is, so I'm running OmaZ shell or OmaZSH, and what you see here basically is my my custom terminal. So it has random emojis on every line, and you also see here in the bottom that it always shows me the file directory, the node version that I'm at, and I think it's pretty nice. And if you're interested to, let's see, if you wonder how this is set up and if you want to have some random emojis in your theme, then you can check this article out that I have written. Here we go. And I have to fix the stream. Oh no, the chat box is on stream. It doesn't seem to work too well. All right, sweet. So we have one error here first. Where are we? We are in post list. So let's just do that on the left side. We have to also bring in the use user function, or the use user hook. Nope. Use user. All right, let's see what happens now. Can I read property docs of undefined? This is in our custom hook. Use till posts. So my ternary is not right here, so let's do that. That is not working yet, is it? Let's just check if all that what I did. So we have post list. When we go to post list, it uses till post. Starship RS. Isn't that fairly popular Bash theme or something? Well, that is a marketing screen. Oh my god, that looks very fancy. Oh my god. So how does it look? Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. So when I look at these things, and it's Rust powered. Yeah, so from the things that I've just seen, right? So when I do these, let's say you see that I have this history thing too. It's also highlighting when a command is available, right? If there's a command not available, it's red. I prefer to have the information of where I am in the corner, not kind of to do my to not block my actually terminal session. And yeah, I mean I spent hours and hours tweaking my terminal, and now I'm pretty happy with it. And I could see that some people are like, yeah, Z shell or Z shell is too slow and it's a little bit laggy. I'm very happy with my setup, and honestly, the emojis make me smile very often. Sometimes I get the middle finger when I'm navigating, and it's just like, it brightens up my day. And I also have this funny thing that I probably am not able to show. So here, see, here we have this buddy. Sometimes I got the middle finger, and I also have this little thing that so I have a random thing in there that, maybe I can show that to you. That when I navigate with CD, that at some point, let's see, where is this? Can we do woof? Here. Come on, you have to check that out. That is just beautiful. So when my CD is basically a wrapper function around CD, and every 20 times or something, it's a random number, my terminal just says woof and prints the dog emoji on the way. And it doesn't happen very often, but when this happens and I'm navigating my terminal, oh man, I'm just like, oh, this is so funny, Stefan. Man, well done. That brightens your day. So having that in your terminal, I can highly recommend. Sometimes it's just like a shitty day, you're super busy doing things, and then the dog appears and says woof, and yeah, it brightens my day, what should I say? Thanks for the recommendation about Starship though. Sweet, so what were we doing? We were doing... we were checking if this whole thing actually worked. So we have post list that uses our custom use till posts hook. And we were on our way to bring in submit. All right. So let's go to to submit. And what we can now do is, first of all, it's complaining about use form. Okay, so let's bring in use form. So where was use form coming from? Here. What is that? Function which if $0 is doctor, then echo. Yeah, I'm digging these kind of things, right? The terminal is just black and white and stuff. I like these kind of things. Yeah, that's a nice one. So let's bring in use form here. And now theoretically we should be able to do this. And we can use now our custom hook, which we have in till posts. post list. So we have this one here. We can bring that one in. And here we now have the Firebase thingy. And this is basically all we need. But I think we should probably do that differently, and we shouldn't expose Firestore's database here. What we probably should do is that we should expose this function here in the hook. So let me just bring that one in. So and here we now have create till post, and then we do this create till post. And now we can drop that one here. And basically all that we want to do here is grab create till post. And then we should be already good to go. All right, let's see. Well, what we have to do is we have to bring in the layout, these two. And now we can do, let's copy the whole thing, and then let's see what we can do here. Alright, today-i-learned.dev /submit container. Submit your stuff, and then we bring in this form here. Here we go. Anything to complain? Right, head is missing. All right. So let's see if this works. Task from new submit. And then example.com. There's no redirect yet or something, so let's see if we just go here. Nice. Oops. Post list. Has something complain in 36. Ah, because we removed this one now. Okay, so we probably have, what are we doing here? We have to address our hook here, which we use till posts, and we have to not only expose a function that is create till post, but also update till post. So let's define this one. And what we do here is we accept an ID and we accept some data. And then we move this stuff in there basically. So this one is ID. And this one is now data. And what we now can do potentially is can go in here. This one is now update till post. And then we could potentially just go away. Could potentially just update this one. Doc ID, and we have data available here. This is completely ignoring error handling and such right now. So we should probably tackle that in the future. And then we have update till post here. We should have the same doc ID but different data. Like this. When we now go back here, it should look fairly okay again. YOLO all the things, right? Cowboy coding. That's how we do it. So let's see. So 1 downvote, 0. Yeah, looks like it works. That was a nice refactoring into a custom hook. That's pretty decent. Nice. So what should we do next? I think that probably we should have a submit button on top. So let's go maybe... And we should do the redirect to the list component. Yeah, I think it's time for celebration, huh? Celebrate. So how do we do routing in Next.js? Should we just push to a route or something? I want to do it programmatically, come on. Dynamic routing. So where's the routing? Yeah, use router is here somewhere. Next.js use router. Isn't that it? Alright, let's see. So now what we could do is... Let's go to our submit and let's see how this was handled. So it now calls create till post. Yeah. Alright, let me just take a 2-minute break, and then I think this is the last action for today. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Alright, so what we probably have to do is to adjust the create till post thing. And I would assume that we should change that to accept some data, but then also something like redirect to. Thanks, Warlo, for hanging out here. It was fun. See you next time, maybe. Let me also do my thing here, because I implemented this thing here, so I'm fairly proud of it. So whenever I have a spare moment now these days, I'm just working on this Twitch setup. I think it's fairly addictive. Alright, so let's just do the last thing here. I mean, it's 10:30 my time here in Berlin. So let's do the last thing. So what I would like to do for create till post is that I would like to change that to accept data and redirect to, and then we do the route handling in here, and we see if that works out of the box, because what I assume what we can do here is that we can do this. And then we do if. Yeah, looking forward, Swallow. See you then. I'm doing it Tuesdays. Tuesdays 8:30 CT, my time. So if we have redirect URL maybe, then let's bring that one in. Then we do this, oops, this and this. With this we have now a new create tilt post function. Yeah, I'm based in Berlin. So let's do it like this, and what we now need is first of all a data property, which is then this whole chisel. And what we need here too is, what do we call it? Redirect URL, which is this. Now we can clean up some things here. And we're missing one parent. Sweet, and we still don't have the router available. So how do we do that? Use router. And I assume that to use hooks, to write a custom hook, we have to use the custom hook inside of the hook function itself, I would believe. So we have to now do this. I don't know if that has some implications on how the React functional components work, but just for consistency, I'm moving both in now. So when we now go to our thing here, we have this buddy hanging out. So we have hello world with a router, and we have example.com again. Submit this thing. Well, seems to work for me. I think that was very straightforward. Super nice. So the last thing then, the really last thing is that I would just add a button here on top, which is like, submit or something, and then I think then I call it a day. So what we do now is we go back to the header component. And now it's fighting back already. So we have, this is, I'm not really sure how to navigate these things, right? So we have now this, we have this button component, which now by default is a button, right? But when we have something in here, it should be a link to submit, right? It shouldn't be a button with an on-click handler to update some routes or something. So the button component at the end was maybe not the best idea after all. So how would we do that? Maybe there should be just a global class, which is old school, just button, and then that's it. I mean, yeah, I think, or how would I encapsulate anchor elements and buttons in a React component? I'm not, So let's see what we have in globals. So we have already our one util in globals. Should we have this just here? Something like that? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going for now. At least for now. So then we can have all this stuff. And this stuff. And we get rid of the custom custom component here. We just do button instead, or we do button here instead. And now we can add 2 classes like that. And as a last thing, what we're going to do is if user otherwise, okay, and here we do, oh no, actually I want to run the other one. If there's a user, then we say hello, and then we do, there's probably a component for that, right? To have anchors in Next.js, is something like next link or something. Here we go. That is what we're looking for. Just a lot of leftovers here, oh my god. Alright, so now we have a link. So if the user is logged in, let's just do link, and then does it have a 2? Or is it href? Href submit a learning. And theoretically we can now drop some files, so we can drop the button module. And we can drop the button component here. And let's see if that works. Here we go. So submit a learning. Well, that does not work. Why is that? Link, href. Is that a link? Let's see. Oh, did I define the... Yeah. Here we go. So and then we can already do class name button, because we're old school here and we're not doing CSS modules. And with this, come on. No? What? I cannot define a class on an anchor? What the? Is that what they recommend here? Okay, this looks super wild for me, and I'm really interested to see what the result of this is when it's rendered. So basically what I assume what I'm supposed to do is this. Okay, what is that now? Well, fair enough. Submit. Yeah, okay, it's currently really just client-side rendered. Okay, that's fair enough. Cool, let's see if that works. And that was then a pretty... Yeah, A inside of the link, that feels super weird to me, anti-pixelated. Alright. Test to close. Alright. Let's give that a final round, deployed to the internet, and then let's see. Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun. I mean, we didn't make it close to to what I wanted to do today, but I think we have now a list of things. One can submit new learnings, and I feel like that nevertheless this is a pretty decent result for today. Well, I had a lot of fun, Anti-Pixelated. Thanks for hanging out here. Much appreciated. So let's see, final check. Seems to be ready. Let's see if it works. So I'm gonna log in here again. Say goodbye. Seems to work. Wanna try one too? Because I'm digging this real-time stuff. No pressure here though. I think it's already nice, but I'm really digging that. I think it is very nice that Firebase comes with this real-time stuff. So theoretically could now. Yeah, don't feel pressured here. I just was celebrating very much last week. Here we go. Sweet. I think we can call it a day. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks Swallow and Antipixelated for giving some advice on things. I think I'm gonna call it today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I do this kind of thing. I'm building this kind of things on Tuesdays, Berlin time, so CET 8:30-ish. I'm playing with the idea to basically have another day where I just do random stuff. Without just playing around with things that I've seen in the newsletters and maybe working on my own website. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for today. And thank you everybody for joining. And I'm gonna give the Viking the last time to say goodbye and see you next time then. Tschüss.